Hello and welcome to Quays News. I'm Mikołaj Maćkowiak.
And I'm Evie Griffiths. Here's what's coming up on today's Cost of Living programme special.
For our top story today, we'll be going live to our reporters across Manchester on how the cost of living crisis is affecting Salford locals in the lead up to Christmas.
I am at Langworthy Cornerstone, bringing you a way of providing extra help for those this winter.
I'm here at Salford Loaves and Fishes, where they will be distributing hot meals to their customers.
Bobby Jones, Devon Matthews and Stefan Moles, all great players of the Curzon Ashton squad. But I'm here today in Ashton not talking about the team, but talking about the cost of living crisis and the impact it has on a team like the Nash.
The fashion industry is also being hit by the rising costs, but we have some tips and tricks to help you.
There are so many cost of living and money saving tips I can think of across all kinds of areas of life. Some that come to mind straight away though would be things like oleola.
For many people across Greater Manchester, the cost of living crisis isn't something they hear about on the news. It's something they have to live through every single day.
But across Salford, there are charities helping those who can't afford a hot meal or enough food for the day. Two of our reporters are out in the city this evening with charities feeding those who need it.
We have Tina Perusa at Langworthy Cornerstone and Mariana Diaz at Salford Loaves and Fishes. Tina, to you first, tell us about what's going on where you are.
Help the people of Salford with... Yes, so I am at Langworthy Cornerstone, and it is a community-led group who help the people of Salford with well-being and health. But one thing they help with is feeding families and individuals that are struggling with the rising cost of food. 15% of households can't afford food, and this is the equivalent to 8 million adults and 3 million children. Just underneath me is where a food club takes place every Tuesday. Here, they welcome anyone who is struggling to eat during the week. They put together a bag with items such as fruit and vegetables, toiletries and cupboard staples, and this is all for a small price of £3.50. I was here earlier while the team was setting up and spoke to Anne, who runs the food club. She's worried about the winter ahead.
The purpose of the food club is to actually top up somebody's weekly shop, whereby they can't now buy what they used to be able to buy for the amount of money that they have. So yeah, it's actually a top up to their weekly shop. But we do have people whereby it is their main shop because they really are struggling so much, and obviously. Last winter was bad. I see that this winter is going to be extremely bad for them. Yeah, especially the older people, because obviously winter fuel allowance has gone. People are struggling. We're going to struggle even more. I mean, we have people in here last winter and recently where they're unable to cook because they haven't got the means or the facility to do it, and likewise. Obviously, it's cold out there, and you know, it's either do they put the heating on or do they eat. It's going to be a very difficult winter for a lot of people.
But that is not all that is offered here. At 6:30 tonight, the food cycle scheme will be running to provide people with hot meals. The idea is to reduce food waste, so the meals that will be served here this evening will be made from food that will otherwise go to waste. Langworthy Cornerstone isn't the only place serving hot meals in Salford tonight. Mariana Diaz is at Loaves and Fishes, only 10 minutes or so from here. Mariana, over to you.
Thanks, Tina. Yes, so I'm here at Salford Loaves and Fishes, where the charity from Manchester, Feed My City, are offering free hot meals, as they say, and I quote, with no questions asked. They will be here every Tuesday from 4 till 5:30. I'm actually joined here with Digger Mosey, who is the operation manager for Salford Loaves and Fishes.
Hello.
Hello. So tell me, how important is your work here to help lower the impact of cost of living?
Massively important. So as you said, I'm the operations manager at Loaves and Fishes. So as a charity, we support people 5 days a week with breakfast and hot dinner. As far as I'm aware, there's nothing in Salford in an evening, which is why we've partnered with Feed My City to do hot food on a Tuesday.
Thank you so much. So the people who come here who benefit from this organisation, what type of living circumstances do they come from?
Every kind you could think of. People with the cost of living, like you say, people are struggling, really struggling. More so now in the cold weather. As a charity, we support anyone and everyone within Salford and beyond. Whoever turns up at our door gets support. But we see everything: addictions, mental health issues, vulnerable people, everything. We offer a warm space and a safe space and hot food, like I say, at dinner time. So it's great to partnership with Feed My City to offer something in an evening, which I don't think in Salford has any provisions. I didn't have 2 months ago.
How long has this been kind of going on?
The partnership between Feed My City and Loaves and Fishes, just over 2 months, I'd say.
Okay. So it's great to have something like this charity when dealing with the cost of living crisis.
She has done. And that was Mariana Diaz at Loaves and Fishes in Salford and Tina Prusa live at Langworthy Cornerstone. Thanks very much, guys. Next, with the financial strain on everything we buy, one of the first cuts people make is to how much they give to charity.
November, or as the charity itself would say, Movember, is one of the UK's best-known fundraising events. Sydney Shaw has been looking at whether they've seen a reduction in donations.
With the cost of living crisis continuing to be a great concern, fundraisers are now dealing with the consequences of people not being able to give. According to a survey by Charity Aid Foundation, nearly 1 in 8 people in the UK reported they have reduced or stopped donating to charities due to the rise in financial pressures. I'm here at Manchester Mo Run, a fundraiser which not only promotes the growth of a moustache, but also the sense of community.
So I love running half marathons. It's my passion. This is my 10th ever one that I'm doing. But I think for this particular cause, Mo Running, and just this Movember as a concept is really important, especially for men's mental health. That's something that's really, really important to me, especially as something that has, it's something I've struggled with personally. I think the cost of living crisis doesn't help. It makes it harder to fundraise, and it has been harder to fundraise. Even if you're not fundraising, the fact that there's loads of people here is in and of itself, a lightning rod, right? People here are interested, they're seeing the crowd. People are clearly interested to find out a little bit more about what it's all about. So just you participating is enough. Even if you don't fundraise, the fact that you're here makes a huge difference.
I've got some family members who had prostate cancer, so I wanted to get involved and do something. I think just coming down, getting involved, supporting, clapping, cheering.
Would you say for anyone wanting to get involved, it's quite easy to?
Yeah, there's more than enough things out there to help you train for it as well. So, and it seems like a fun environment, but I've not done it yet, so maybe ask me after the race.
Studies from grassroots charities show that 85% of their income has been negatively affected by the cost of living crisis. With financial pressures increasing, can people still afford to give to the fundraisers they care about?
We've had somebody actually come in from the Movember charity to speak all about it. How many men commit suicide? It's just terrible. It's just awful, and we're here to raise money for men's cancer today. We have done better this year than last year. Which is amazing. It's brilliant. People are so kind, and But even if everybody would just give £1, any donation help.
Despite the financial difficulties, events such as this one today continue to lift the spirits of the matter and bring people together. So far, this Manchester Mo Run has raised over £7,600, a small contribution towards the charity's overall achieved goal of £100,000. For more information on how you can get involved, visit their website on movember.com. Sydney Shaw, Quays News.
That morning cup of coffee from your favourite place is one of life's little luxuries that we often take for granted.
But when you're struggling to make ends meet, it's one of those cuts people make. Anna Stelfox has been finding out more.
We have struggled and our costs have gone up, and we're conscious that We don't want to be passing on increased costs onto our customers. But then there's a fine balance between that and then also being able to survive as a business. And generally, we've found recently cost of living has been rising, and that's impacted on everyone on both sides of the table. It's just like a seesaw. It's really trying to get the balance, and at the right level, customers will be happy and will be happy. But it could quite easily tip either way, I think.
Due to the cost of living, independent coffee shops all across Manchester have seen an increase to their coffee prices. From 2021, they rise to an average of 30%, a medium latte going from £2.75 to £3.60.
Being a barista for long in the industry, we're not here for money. It's the passion. I mean, working as a barista, we can't make a fortune, but we can maintain our basic livings. Like, we'll still be able to pay our rent, do our groceries, and everything has got an increase in the price. Of course, the coffee price has went up. But to be fair, because since we roast our own beans, our coffee price has not been increased that much.
The cost of living crisis has affected everything. Coffee is one of those things. Now, I've come to the Manchester Coffee Festival today to chat to some people here about their feelings towards coffee and the cost of living.
As things are getting more expensive, I think cafe culture is one of those affordable luxuries.
I don't drink alcohol, so for me, I love the cafe culture. So it's not necessarily the coffee itself. It's nice when it's good, but for me, it's more the people, how comfortable it is, that kind of thing.
You make all of your cakes homemade. Is that a big cost?
It is, particularly because we specialise in vegan and gluten-free cakes and do vegan and gluten-free cakes. A lot of people, especially for gluten-free, will go to a cafe and almost sort of challenge saying, if you've got anything gluten-free, expecting to be told, well, a bit of cardboard in the corner might be gluten-free. And they come here and we'll say, yes, there's this, there's this, there's this, there's that, and oh, there's that one. They go, oh, thank you. Our community, our customers and our friends are our biggest supporters. I know them all to see us through and keep us going.
Anna Estelle Fox, Quays News.
Manchester libraries are playing a vital part in supporting the local community during these cold months.
Earlier today, I went down to Manchester Central Library to find out about the Warm Welcome campaign.
I'm here at Manchester Central Library, which is one of the 14 libraries across Manchester which are all coming together and opening up this winter as part of the Warm Welcome campaign, which will be using libraries to create a safe, warm, welcoming, stigma-free environment for anyone who may need extra help during these cold and winter months. They'll be using libraries to offer free hot drink, free access to the Wi-Fi and internet, as well as digital drop-in classes, free story time for children under 5, comfortable seating, and staff who could provide information and advice, as well as signpost people to other services. This comes after Bev Craig from Manchester City Council said, as we are heading towards the winter months, we are much aware of the cost of living crisis that is still affecting many families across Manchester, which is why more now than ever, the council need to do our utmost to support those who may be struggling. The Warm Welcome campaign is a lifeline to anyone who may need it, from whether it just being a simple hot drink, a warm space to spend the day, or just having some companionship. It will run from now up until February 2025.
The fashion industry hasn't been immune to rises in the cost of raw materials and labour.
As a result, sourcing clothes might become more difficult. Rhiannon Healy-Provost has some tips and tricks for you.
Now, I often get asked where I get all of my clothes from and how do I afford them? And the answer is very simple. Charity shops. I spend a lot of my free time scouring the rails for the best deals I can find. From formal wear to everyday clothing, I rarely leave a charity shop empty-handed.
Buying something secondhand, or even, look at the other side of thrifting, selling your old clothes as well, is always going to be a better way to make money and save money than buying something brand new.
Secondhand clothes are sustainable for one, unique for two, and generally cheaper than fast fashion for three. You can wear them on a number of occasions and you can have a wide variety. I certainly have. Like this dress, these shoes, this dress, these shoes, the red ones, or even this dress. That was when we realised I needed more formal and semi-formal wear. One of the most annoying things about shopping in charity shops is when you find something that you absolutely love, but it does not fit. Now, do you know how to spot the deals? Well, here's some tips. Is there a brand tag? No? Well, then it could very well be from a well-known high street brand. Large brands tend to donate their surplus stock to charity shops after taking the tags out. However, not all brands do this, so keep your eyes open. You need to go regularly. Charity shops are always restocking. Be prepared to actually touch the clothing because it can be really easy to tell high quality from low quality. And the main important thing is, are you willing to pay that price for that item?
We still kept it kind of charity shop prices because obviously we want to do the best we can for the charity and for the people that are buying from us.
Sustainable and affordable fashion are everywhere. However, I think I may have lost my camera woman to the clothes section. Rhiannon Healy, Provost, Quays News, Manchester.
Next, Daniel Caddick has all the sport from a cold Ashton-under-Lyne. He's been at Curzon Ashton's ground and he sent this report earlier.
Well, I'm not exactly a weather reporter today, but I can tell you Ashton-under-Lyne is very, very chilly today. However, the weekend brought plenty of heat in the football scene. The international break hit at the weekend. England also hit 5 against Ireland. 5 different scorers in that game, including Taylor Harwood-Bellis scoring on his England debut. England sit top of Group 2 in the Nations League now, equal on points, 15 points with Greece. But England brings me to where I am today. You may remember 1966, the World Cup final, a famed day for English football. A certain Geoff Hurst scoring 3 goals in that final. Well, he was from here in Ashton. I am at the home of Curzon Ashton, the Tameside Stadium. Curzon Ashton have played well this season, started very, very positively, but it's not just on the pitch where they've been making headlines. Mark and Alex are here with me. Mark, assistant manager of the team. I want to ask you, what systems have the club got in place now to support fans coming to games?
Over the years, we've had a number of systems in place. The latest one, I've got one here, is the flexi ticket, where you get 3 games for £30, which is a saving of £21. All you have to do, come down to the main office Monday to Friday anytime, ask for a flexi ticket, and we'll give you one of these booklets that you can get into 3 games for £30.
Amazing. And how much does a scheme like that help the community to come to games, and the community in general? How much does it mean to Curzon Ashton as a club?
When this stadium was built, it was built on our engagement with the community. That was sort of why we got this stadium, and for 20 years now we've done everything we can to encourage children and adults to come down, take part in football, as well as support the football team. And we're really passionate about it, and we always will be.
Thank you very much. And Alex, a massive volunteer at the club and a massive fan. I want to ask you, do you think something like the flexi system could be, brought into other teams around football to make football more affordable?
Oh, definitely, 100%, especially for fans who come in, week out, especially for the new ones who never even heard of Curzon. Obviously, at the beginning of the season, after the Needham Market game, we reached out to the local community saying, why would you want to come down to Curzon? What would make you want to come to Curzon? And many people literally said they've never heard of Curzon before, they've never seen anything advertised. Something like that has been absolutely massive and crucial for this club in terms of the community to literally reach out, and a scheme like that is absolutely perfect to bring over any age, any gender, any ethnicity to make Curzon what it is and to continue to grow throughout the future.
Amazing, thank you very much. Well, we certainly hope Curzon have an absolutely fantastic rest of the season.
Dan Caddick at Curzon Ashton there. Well, we've talked a lot this evening about the physical impacts and the health effects of the increased cost in living. But what about the impact on our mental health?
The old saying goes, laughter is the best medicine, and one therapist in Manchester is putting that to the test. Emma Nelson has more.
In a recent survey, 84% of people said they struggle with their mental health due to the cost of living crisis. And with Christmas coming up, a lot of people are putting money away, and this has affected their mental health.
Broken out into psoriasis from stress about money. So yeah, I guess it has. It's crazy.
When you don't have money, you cannot buy things you like.
you cannot go hang out every other day with your friends, so definitely it's affect on your mental health.
I worry, but I worry about money anyway.
Of course, if you pay a lot, you will lose your money, and that may cause in your mental health.
With the cost of living being so high, it can be hard to stay positive. Sarah Kay is a laughter therapist from Salford, and she says laughter can help us.
When I am fed up, I know that I will feel better when I have laughed. The more we laugh, the better we feel, more confident and happier because we are laughing. And I just found kind of my true self, really, of connecting with people with laughter rather than talking. So you don't even have to be happy to do it.
Okay.
So you don't have to find that joy. What we do is simulating laughter. In fact, laughter sounds, first of all, like ho, heart and he. And that stimulates those feel-good hormones inside us, neurotransmitters. You know, I still get low moments. I'm not happy all the time.
Yeah.
So boosting my mood with laughter yoga is really important. If we are laughing every day, we feel calmer in ourselves of like the annoying things that we've been doing. We just laugh them off, basically.
Yeah.
And then we can cope with the free-floating hostilities that we can't control.
Yeah.
Of course, I had to have a go.
Yay! Ho, 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 and in.
Although the cost of living is worrying, it is important to try and stay positive.
Unfortunately, that's all we have time for on today's programme.
But don't worry, we'll be back this time next week with another special, this time on the environment.
Make sure to keep up to date on our socials at Quays News, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye for now.